Okay, well, welcome back, everybody. This is an in-office episode of the Ride Along here. So we've got two guests on the podcast here today. So Lindsay, Janaya, thank you both for joining me again. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys because when was the last time that we actually got together? Was it like 6 months ago?
It's been about 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't believe this year has gone that fast. It's ridiculous. All right, what's been the biggest thing that's happened in both of y'all's lives in the last 6 months? Janaya, you were actually just telling me a little bit.
Yeah, so my son just graduated college. So yeah, it's like one of those exciting moments.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was he studying?
He's studying music.
Nice.
So he's going to be a music teacher.
Okay, very cool. So we got a kid graduating college. Lindsay, how about you?
Nothing that exciting. I mean, some sort of travel to different parts of the country to visit friends and family, which has been great. Was in Atlanta a few weeks ago. Just so hot. It was
my
so
gosh.
hot there.
I feel like it's hot everywhere except for here in Seattle. That's where the porch office is in Seattle, Washington. So I actually forgot to pack a jacket. And when I got here, everybody told me, last time I was here in February, everybody told me like, oh, you need to come back in the summer. And here I am in the summer and it's still 57 at night and it's raining.
So this isn't summer in Seattle yet.
Oh, we're not here yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not in summer yet. You've got we've got a month and a half before we hit summer in Seattle.
We call this
Okay.
January.
January. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on July 5th, it becomes summer.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense, all right? Because now I had to go buy a jacket. Like literally.
Did you really?
I know, I really did. I was like, because I wanted to walk around. I mean, Seattle, we were talking about this. It's such a cool city for
Yeah.
photography and videography.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take some shots of when I was off the clock. And then it's raining. And so I'm like, all right.
It is.
Yeah. I go to Nordstrom Rack. Jackets are not in season right now. It's only shorts. And so I had to go into Nordstrom, find the cheapest one that they had for like $80. And I'm like, I will never forget a jacket again.
Nope. And you will never use it where you live.
Right, yeah, in Florida. Yeah,
Just
just
leave it in your bag.
that's it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
never
that's
have to
exactly
unpack
what I'll
it.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Okay, so but you guys have been really busy outside of your personal lives and January here in Seattle. So Janaya, there's a lot of cool things that have really been popping up with ISN recently, and some of these things are really going to be exciting for those people that listen to our show and use these to run their home inspection businesses every day. But catch me up on the latest with ISN, and then we can even get into some of the cool stuff that's coming up as well.
Yeah, so we've been working really hard, pulling in feedback from all over the place, having customer interviews, just really getting down to what everyone needs. And so we've been working on the app. Some cool things that we're doing in the app right now is that we're basically improving our inspection details page. It's like the most important page in the entire app, minus the calendar, right? Because it's where all your inspection information is. So we're spending some time to bubble up information so that it's bright, clear, easy to use, making it so that there's a multi-inspector view, and we've added some new call to action buttons so now you can send an email event, you can view your email status of the email, whether it's sent or not sent. You can add notes, you can upload a report, you can upload a property photo. So a lot of really cool things that you weren't able to do before in the app.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, and you can all do, and because it's on the app, you can do this on your phone.
Yep, on
which
your
is
phone.
exciting for me. As a guy that runs a home inspection business just by himself, I can go in the middle of, if I'm on one home inspection, just wrapping up, and somebody wants to book, I don't have to wait until I get back to my laptop to schedule things now.
Yep.
So,
And we got a lot of customers that are using tablets in the field as well, because carrying around a laptop is a lot. So you take a tablet, attach it to a keyboard, and the app just works that way.
oh, that's fantastic. Actually, you hit on something that's really big, and this is something that I wanted to talk to you about. I love that with the development that you guys have put into the latest with ISN, you're really considering all ISN users. You're not just trying to push towards you should only use this app. You're actually building integrations where if somebody is still using a camera and they prefer to use a camera, they can move photos over in a unique way, right?
Yeah, and I think that it's really important to understand that we know that not everybody works the same way, right? Some people, they go in and they're very logical about their inspection, and sometimes you go in and you take a bunch of pictures and you want to upload them later, and all of that is just different ways people work. And we're trying to build the app so that it actually kind of can do, basically anybody can use it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. So Lindsay, now your turn here. Let's talk about some of the cool integrations that you've been building in with ISN as well.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what Janaya said, a lot of what we're doing is really based on the feedback we've been getting from folks over the months and years in the past. And I think one of the things we've heard a lot out in the field and over, just in feedback forums and things like that, is that people want better and easier ways to schedule inspectors for orders. And we've heard this from many, like 20 to 30 different companies. And so what we've built is something called smart scheduling. And a lot of this logic lives in the background. So you won't see the magic necessarily, but it's sort of auto-magic in some ways that we're pulling it forward into the order form and the online scheduler. And what it does is it is an algorithm. So it's not quite AI. The robots are not taking over quite yet, but it's an algorithm that takes into account where an inspector is, whether they can perform the order, like the services on the order, one or more services on the order. It takes into account their availability. So not only where are they, but are they available at the time that inspection is looking to be booked. And then we also have this new feature where we are plugging into smart scheduling the ability for an agent to say that an inspector is preferred or not. And so we're building that logic in. So with all of that behind the scenes logic, we return a stacked ranked list of recommended inspectors, both in the order form and on the online scheduler. And yeah, I mean, we've demoed it for you, you've seen it, and we're just continuing to take feedback around the edges of this product to make sure that it's working as the way people want it to.
No, I love it. So a lot of thoughtfulness there, but really the big takeaway for me is that the robots are not taking over.
Not quite.
Right? Okay,
not
so
quite.
Porch is not Skynet. Is that what we're saying?
Not quite, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing we have to remember about AI is I think a lot of us believe it could get really scary really quickly. And so the way we're going to implement AI is ways in which it'll make inspectors' lives easier and take tasks and things away. We're not looking to replace people. We're not looking to do any of that. We're looking to just use AI opportunistically in a way that helps people do their jobs faster and better.
No, that's fantastic. And I love the mix of personalities that we have in this company, right? And the ways that we approach different things. So Janaya, you're definitely a Windows-based programmer, engineering mind. And Lindsay's over here dropping the Apple words like automagic, And so I'm like, did you just totally steal that off Tim Cook's presentation?
I probably did.
Yeah, the newest in Apple
Good way to
AI.
describe us,
Yeah.
Apple and Windows.
Yeah. No, I love it. And again, it's really kind of thinking of all the different ways that people work. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the great point. We are, though, looking at a lot of AI capabilities. So based on what Lindsay just said, augmenting the inspector's experience when they're using the app. And specifically in the ISN report writer. So in the ISN report writer, there's lots of little places that we could integrate AI to make things easier. Like one of the things we're working on is an AI comment helper. And so you imagine you're just kind of in the room taking notes, and you just say, okay, well, there's a loose window or a loose something. And all you have to just type that in and it writes the whole comment for you. It makes it professional. It gives it more information. Can do codes, cite codes for you. All of that, you don't even have to write any of it. You just put in, the window's loose.
Oh man, no, I love it. So we are actually looking now to integrate AI within the report writer itself.
Yep.
We're augmenting Automagic elsewhere in ISN as well. So honestly, this is some cutting edge stuff. That's fantastic. One thing that I really would like to talk about is, while this is all sounding great and cool, what about some of the stability improvements that we've built into this as well? Can we talk about that too?
Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. I mean, we continue to identify and chip away at stability improvements, and we've seen actually over time that our uptime, which is a measurement of like all systems go, kind of, it hovers around 99%, which is very, very, very strong. And what we've really done, I shouldn't say we, I should say the engineering team has done, is they have implemented a lot of logging that didn't exist before and monitoring. And so what that means is when something goes down, we are much faster to see it and tackle it than we were at this time last year.
Improving things incrementally. We're doing that under the hood, if you will. And then we're also doing that on the inspector-facing side of things. But with the report writer, what about on the client and agent-facing side of things?
Yeah, so one thing that we've heard a lot in feedback is they want more ability to control their agents using the app. And so one of the big feedback items we get is, an easier way to send the red link to their agent. So we're adding that into the agents and clients screen, adding more information so that you can see, like if you have an agent note, for instance, this agent doesn't like dogs or doesn't, that note now pops up. And allows you to at least see what the agent likes and doesn't like. You can also see all their inspections, so you can see every inspection an agent has ever had with you, which is just another way of looking at them.
Okay, so this is actually something that excites me as somebody that's in the field. And also, okay, when we got here today, we planned to film this at 10 a.m., right? How long did we spend setting this thing up?
53 minutes. I actually looked at my watch when you said
Did you really time it?
Yeah, when you were recording
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, it took us this long." So it was under an hour. That's not terrible.
Not a terrible setup time, yeah. But I mean, we're running 2 cameras here.
Right.
We moved all of the porch offices, lights around.
Sorry.
And yeah, but I mean, we got a cool little set here. But the thing is, like, I nerd out about camera improvements, and there are some photo features that are coming to the report writer now that I think are awesome to talk about as well.
Yeah, so one of the biggest feedback we got in the field was just, I want to mark up an image. I want to just put an arrow and a circle, and the system that we had in place just was really hard to do that. So we implemented a new photo editing system that just makes it so easy. You just upload your image, you just draw an arrow, draw a circle, annotate. It also has some really cool things. One of my favorite features about it is it has a blur feature. So you can, if you get a license plate or a face in the background or something, now you can just kind of blur that out so that you don't have to worry about it being in your picture.
Well, that's really important for, like, when you go into houses and people leave out personal photos
Yeah.
all the time because they suck at staging. So
Yeah.
if you are staging your house, get your personal pictures out of there. Yeah, you want people to envision themselves in your house.
not
Not the
you.
home inspector taking pictures of your family in your house.
Yeah.
It sounds so creepy. So that's awesome that you could do that. You can add that little bit of a privacy element. That's cool. So awesome improvements that are coming there. And again, that's kind of also working along with people who use both the app and use traditional photography for their inspections.
Yep, it works both on the app and on the web report writer. So it's actually really cool on the web, I think, because when you upload, so we now have this new feature called the Report Media Library, and it allows you to bulk upload a bunch of images, right? And you can put them in, and then you can easily drag and drop those images into each comment. So it's just right there, all your images, and then you just quickly can annotate them. It saves a lot of time in the whole process.
No, honestly speaking, and process is really what this is all about.
Yeah.
Because as we're talking about this, I'm envisioning being on the inspection and basically going from scheduling and the improvements that we've made on that side of things, and then going from that to being on site with optimizations for ways that a home inspector can take photos. So that's going to make it easier on me when I'm in the field. And then on top of that, we found improvements for after the inspection as well on the core side of ISN, where you have, say I set a radon test. There's actually triggers that you were talking about before, where you can better control the communications with agents and with clients after the fact, right?
Yeah, you mean for actually scheduling the radon, the way this
Yeah.
feature, this is another thing that was just asked for a lot in our feedback tool. And what this is this is actually giving users of our software the ability to trigger based on the radon event itself, so that you're not having to sort of like back into it from the inspection related triggers. So this allows you to say, I'm going to send a notification to the inspector, reminding them to go pick up the device that is correlated with the radon event itself. So again, it just like makes it easier and makes you not have to spend so much time trying to like reverse engineer the inspection date to the radon event date.
No, that's awesome. Okay, and then there's on top of that, what about optimizations on the payment side of things as well? When you have done the inspection, you've communicated with the client and with the agent about any ancillary services. Now, what about when it comes to like payment? Do we have any sort of integrations or optimizations there?
Yeah, so for folks that use the Flex Fund feature within ISN, this gives clients the ability to pay at closing instead of upfront at the beginning of their inspection or right after the inspection. And what we recently did, because I think there were some people that had given us some feedback on the feature that said, we don't want to offer Flex Fund if the inspection fee itself is less than some amount of money, because we, Porch, Guardian, ISN, take a cut of the Flex Fund of any Flex Fund transaction. We take a cut of that, which is a fixed amount, and so if that fixed amount represents a large percentage of the total inspection fee, you can totally empathize with the fact that an inspection company might not want to take that, have that cut out of their fee. So what we implemented was the ability to set minimums. So above certain fees, we will offer Flex Fund, and below certain fee amounts, we will not offer it.
Okay, that's awesome. So you can definitely kind of customize the way in which you capture that transaction.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Yes.
But so this is, gosh, I don't want to get myself fired here talking about this, but as I always approach the improvements that we make, looking at it, from Porch's side of things, but more importantly for me, from a home inspector side of things, because I've done this for almost 10 years now. And when I first heard about Flex Fund, I was like, I'm curious to see if this works, because in the field, or in the home inspection industry, payment at closing has been so many inspectors did away with it for so long because they weren't getting paid, right? And there was a huge risk there for them. And so they've gone to taking payment up front, which obviously with Guardian, there's plenty of ways that you can do that. But then they implemented pay at close. And fascinatingly to me, there's actually been a huge uptick in people's bottom line from when they've implemented this.
That's right. It allows them to potentially add upsells, because there's some sort of psychological factor here that when you're paying for it at closing and it's lumped into all those other costs, it almost disappears. Like, I don't want to use Automagic again, but sort of that, right? Like, there is some sort of psychological effect of saying, well, I might as well add some ancillary services on here. And so Guardian has seen, the average inspection fee for folks using Flex Fund is like 20 some odd percent higher than it is for people that don't. Yeah.
No, that was awesome by them, because again, this was something that the solution originally was, let's just not do this as home inspectors. And yet they looked at this and go, well, but think about it from the consumer's perspective.
Yeah.
If we can find a way to reduce risk to home inspectors and allow you to offer this, suddenly their average ticket price is going up. That's fantastic.
And Guardian's ability to fund the inspector early on is really a huge advantage for us, because there isn't that risk to the inspector of waiting till closing, because Guardian's funding them right up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. So from a home inspector's perspective, again, I'm absolutely loving what I'm hearing. Honestly, these are some requested, most importantly, optimizations. ISN seems to really have been listening to home inspectors. And isn't there like a home inspector, like a request feature that you guys have built in where they can actually be submitting these things?
There is, yeah. On web, there's sort of a drop down. I think it's in tools. It's the tools drop down, and it's product. I think it's called product feedback, and we get a ton of it. I mean, what do we get? Like 20 requests a day or something? It's a lot. Yeah.
And we respond to almost all of them.
Yeah, we try to.
We try to.
Yeah.
And you're now implementing some of the most requested ones.
That's right.
Which I love. And really, it sounds like we're kind of talking about things in a very holistic sense of improving the inspector's job from start to finish. So it's and really kind of it comes down in a sense to responding to not just to home inspectors, but also the state of the market too.
Yeah, that's right. So what we try to do is sort of stitch together what we're hearing from inspectors and sort of what we're seeing in the industry itself. And it's tough out there. I mean, with interest rates as they are, with inventory as it is, it's tough. So what we're trying to do is take the feedback that kind of relates to that toughness the most and prioritize that. And so, at a high level, we understand that it's tough out there. And so, as much as we can, we want to squeeze every inch that we can out of each inspection and just help you find new ways of sourcing inspections.
Yeah, new ways of sourcing inspections, and then, just easier getting through an inspection. Like, it shouldn't take you 2 hours to write a report in the field, right? So, we know that time is money, and it's really important for us to save as much time as possible in the process. And so we've been just chipping away slowly at each thing that we know takes a lot of time.
No, I love it. Absolutely. And honestly, time is money. And as a home inspector, like for me, I love finding the right tool for the job. And when it comes down to software, I want to get done with the job as quickly as possible, not just for the client, because for so many inspectors, report delivery same day matters so much, right? The name of the game is getting stuff out faster than your competitors. And we've got tools that are going to allow a home inspector to do that in a very customizable way that suits their business best. So not only does that save them time in the field, but we get into the home inspection industry so that we have control over our lives again. I mean, from having worked with corporate to having worked in the field, I love having control over my own schedule. Yeah. And the point and purpose of that for so many men and women in the field is so that they can get back to their personal lives and spend time with their families and spend time with their kids. And the sooner that they can put the laptop away or put the phone away and get back to living their life that they've built for themselves with this job that can afford it for them, then the better it is. So I love that there's real quality of life application that we're building in here. So, well, thank you guys again for sitting in. It's always such a joy to talk with the both of you, truly. And what do you guys got on tap for the end of January here with July coming up?
That's a really good question. I'm going to swim in the lake because the lake is now in the high 60s. So I'm going to go swimming in the lake this weekend.
Is that warm?
Yeah,
that's warm.
Yeah, that's pretty warm.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in it at that, but that's warm.
I live by the Gulf of Mexico and it's 80. Yeah, so that's amazing. So, well, thank you guys again for joining, and thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe to the show, give it a follow, and I hope to see you right here next time on the Ride Along.